welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be recommending books based on Billie Eilish songs. We all love Billie Eilish, well maybe we don't all, but a lot of us do love Billie Eilish and her music is proper sick. I thought I'd do another video based on recommending books off of songs because people seem to like the Lana Del Rey one that I did, so I thought I would do one for Billie Eilish. So the first song I will be recommending a book for is When the Party's Over, and I think this is my favourite of all of her songs. Like, it's just Bon appetit. What? No, it's not. It's just really good and makes me cry. I don't know how many times I've cried to it. Several. Lots and lots. And for this book, I'm going to choose Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Everester. So you might have heard of this book already. That's because it co-won the Booker Prize. I think it should have just won it by itself. I have a video on that if you want to watch it. But this is an absolutely fantastic book. So it basically follows the lives of lots of different, mostly black women, and how they live their lives, how they're affected by their race, their sexuality, how they are viewed by society. Just basically an amalgamation of so many different things. It's an absolutely wonderful story. Saying that, there are parts in it that are very harrowing, that are very quite difficult to read about. A lot of very tragic things happen to the characters in this book, and that's why I'm recommending this for When the Party's Over, because I feel like it has similar moods to that song. I will just say that there are trigger warnings that I will leave down below for this book as well. But if you can read without trigger warnings, then I would definitely recommend this. In terms of the plot, I don't think that's the main point in the book. There isn't much plot that goes on, but it's just following different perspectives, and all these characters interlink with one another. They all know each other somehow, which I find really interesting. It's just an excellently written book, and the style is absolutely phenomenal. I love the style of it. The next song that I'll be recommending a book for is No Time to Die, and this comes to maybe no surprise that it's going to be the James Bond series of books. So these were written by Ian Fleming, and I've only read two, I'll be honest with you, and that is On Her Majesty's Secret Service and I think Casino Royale, which I thought was a bit rubbish that one. But this one, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, I really enjoyed it. There is the objectification of women in this book, which is a bit horrible to read, but also I did just really enjoy reading it. I much prefer the books than the films. I think the films are a bit over the top and stupid. Did I just say that? Yeah, I did. But this book, I really enjoyed it. It's set in France, I believe, in the ski slopes, and James Bond is figuring out something or other. There's lots of ladies in it. Well, I can't actually remember that much, to be honest. It was just a good time, and it was James Bond versus the baddies, and I remember now. There is a cliffhanger at the end of this book, and it is a really good cliffhanger. And I still haven't read the book that comes after this, but it does leave you on edge. So yeah, there's lots of instances of it leaving you on edge. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say, the reason I said that is because obviously Billie Eilish wrote a song for the newest James Bond film. But yeah, that's why I said that one. I probably should have recommended No Time to Die if it's actually a book, but I haven't read that one, so I can't. The next song I want to recommend a book for is Listen Before I Go. This is another one that I've cried to quite a lot. And this reminds me a lot of Solitaire by Alice Oseman. So Solitaire is a YA book, and it is about this girl called Tori Spring, and she is in sixth form, which is really cool because I don't really read much about, kids in sixth form. And Solitaire, I don't want to spoil anything because I don't like spoiling things, but basically lots of pranks keep on happening in her school. They get really out of control as well at times. Basically, Solitaire is this group that is causing these issues, and no one knows who Solitaire is. It's really mysterious and all that. So it's Tori's job to well, not her job, but she wants to find out more about them. It's really intriguing. There's lots of representation in it, LGBT+, which is really cool. I think a lot of YA is going towards that direction now, which is really nice. I wish I read stuff like that when I was a kid, more like a young adult. But yeah, I would really recommend it. It also interlinks with the Heartstopper series, if you've heard of that, which I quite enjoyed as well. The next song I want to recommend a book for is Bad Guy. Okay, cool. And that is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. These are pretty groovy books. There are lots of bad guys in it, but they're also like cool bad guys like Arya Stark. She's just so cool, man. And Cersei, I really like Cersei as well. These two female characters are just like so cool. If you don't know, ow! Why have I put this here? I just hurt myself all the time. Where do I even start with this? What was the first book? Game of Thrones. So you probably know what it is already. It's a fantasy series made into the TV show A Game of Thrones. There's lots of blood and gore, and also I'll leave some trigger warnings down below because there are quite a few in this. But overall, it's just a fantastic series. I'm not going to talk about the plot because it's heckin' a lot. But there are lots of bad guys in this, and it's very cool. The next song I'm going to recommend a book for is Ocean Eyes. Oh my gosh, this book is absolutely phenomenal. And it is The Colour Purple. So this, where do I start with The Colour Purple? This is a book set, I don't even know what decade it is, but I think it might be like 1920s or something around that era in America. And it's about this lady called Celie, and she writes notes to God and to her sister, and she's lived a very difficult life, to say the least, and it just follows her life and her experiences. So it's an epistolary novel, which means it's written in letters. It's absolutely fantastic. I think this is my favourite book of all time. You really need to read it. There is also LGBT plus themes in here, which is absolutely phenomenal. There is a love story in this, that's why I say Ocean Eyes. And it's just so, I just feel when I read this, so many emotions. It's so emotional. It's blimmin' fantastic, and I just love it. I just love it. Also, I should say, I can't remember if I said this, but all the characters in this, well, pretty much all of them are black as well. So you really learn about the black experience during this time as well, and it's just brilliant in my opinion. And lastly, I want to recommend a book for Bury a Friend. Bury a Friend is a heckin' sick song. Wacky, 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 wacky. And in that wacky sense, I thought I'd recommend The Unlimited Dream Company by J.G. Ballard. This book is heckin' weird, man, and I feel like Bury a Friend, there's lots of like references to sleep, and this reminds me a lot of The Unlimited Dream Company, because in this book, the main character, he basically, this isn't really a spoiler, he's in his plane, driving his plane, this isn't how you drive a plane, well, fly the plane rather, and then he crashes. And he crashes in this like estate place. He goes underwater, and then he comes out alive. And then it's really weird. It's like a stream of consciousness, this book. Like, it is like a dream, and so many weird things happen. It is absolutely bizarre. I feel like you have to read it a few times to actually understand what's happening, because I've only read it once, and I'm like, what is going on, please? But it kind of reminds me of Bury a Friend, because Bury a Friend is just so, like, edgy, and it's like, what does this actually mean? And that's the same thing with The Unlimited Dream Company. Don't ask me what the plot's about. I can't remember the plot. I just remember it's very, I guess it's quite atmospheric actually. There's a lot of imagery in it, and I can't remember the plot, but I remember lots of things that happen in it, and it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I'd recommend that if you like Bury a Friend. So that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know, because I really enjoy doing these. And I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.